I'm going to make the red curry with the sweet potatoes this morning. I'm going to show you how to do it, but first I've assembled my ingredients for the recipe. I've got sweet potatoes, and I had carrots in my refrigerator, so I'm going to roast some of those with the sweet potatoes. I've got the fresh ginger and garlic. I probably won't use that whole piece of ginger, maybe half of that. My spices are ground cumin, and then in this I have curry powder, and I have some dried ginger in here. So I'm going to use those spices. An onion for sauteing. I have a can, and that is a 28-ounce can of peeled plum-shaped tomatoes. 1 can of coconut milk, which is optional in the recipe. If you didn't want to use coconut milk, you could stretch the recipe with some vegetable stock instead of using the milk, or you could use 2 cans of tomatoes. And then I'll season it with salt and pepper as well. So those are the ingredients I'm going to use, and I'm going to start by getting my sweet potatoes and my carrots ready. Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do is peel and cut your vegetables in bite-sized pieces for roasting. A couple tablespoons of safflower oil that I've mixed with a little bit of ginger and curry powder, dried ginger, curry powder, and cumin, and I'm just going to drizzle that over my vegetable to roast. While those are roasting, I'll get my sauce ready. Okay, so dice your onion into a fairly small dice and mince your fresh garlic and ginger together into a pretty small mince. Then get your saute pan warm, add about 2 or 3 tablespoons of safflower or olive oil, and add your onion to the pan first. Let that start to soften, and then after 2 or 3 minutes, add your ginger and your garlic and let that cook together with the onion. Once that's started to soften a bit, you can add your dried spices, along with about a half a cup of warm water. Stir those together to make a bit of a sauce. The spices will start to release their flavors. You can add salt and pepper at this point, and then drain your tomatoes into the pan. Chop the rest of the tomatoes up into a smaller cut. Add those to your pan, stir together, cover, and let it cook for about 15 minutes. And then once that's simmered for a bit, you can add your coconut milk, stir that into the tomato mix, and cover the pan again and let it cook for about another 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, so while we're waiting on the curry to finish, we'll get some couscous ready. This is just a bag of plain couscous. You can get whole wheat couscous. It's really good with the sauce because it really soaks it up. You don't really have to cook couscous. You just need to kind of rehydrate it. And you use equal parts of couscous and liquid. I'm going to put 1 cup of couscous in my bowl, and I'm going to use a little turmeric in it, because turmeric's a really good natural antioxidant, and it'll color make it a nice yellow color, and it won't add a lot of flavor. Too much turmeric can be bitter, but that won't be. A little bit of pepper, and a little bit of salt, and the curry sauce is going to have plenty of flavor from the tomatoes and the other spices, so I'm not going to put anything else here in the couscous. I'll stir it around a little bit with a little bit of seasoning that I put in there. And then I'm going to use as a liquid water. Right in the bowl with the couscous. Give it a little bit of a stir just to get everything soaking well in there. And then I'm going to take a piece of my plastic wrap and put it right on the bowl. I'm going to let that sit there for about 5 minutes. And you could stop here if you wanted to. You could stir in a can of drained garbanzo beans. You could add some fresh spinach and just let it simmer for about 5 minutes till the spinach was tender. You could use other vegetables in this other than the sweet potatoes and the carrot. So I'm stirring my vegetables into the sauce, get it good and hot, taste it with the couscous, yum, yum. Here's your basic recipe for the red curry sauce, but don't feel constrained by that. You can add different vegetables, you can use it with brown rice instead of couscous, make it spicier if you like with some sambal oelek or some peppers. It's really good.